Hello friends, this is Worm, and sorry if my voice sounds a little bit off. I have not been feeling up to it, but of course the live stream just ended, so I figured we'd go ahead and get some of this information out and just kind of talk about some of the things. This is not a full comprehensive breakdown of everything that we saw, just kind of, I guess, thoughts and opinions on the stuff. And of course, let's start with the exotic missions that are returning. It is 0 Hour and Outbreak Perfected, and the Whisper, along with Whisper of the Worm, which is super exciting. These were the two that I kind of had a sneaking feeling would be the ones that return, but of course Hawkmoon was still out there. But yeah, 0 Hour and Whisper are returning. It's really awesome to see these two, because these two are really iconic missions. Like, never mind the rewards that you get from them, these two just as missions alone are fantastic. They're a lot of fun. They're very they're engaging. They have these beautiful like landscapes. They have great ad density. They have a lot of challenge to them, and they're coming back. And it's nice because Bungie also, they did clarify that these missions are coming back different than they were. Like, there is going to be some new stuff. There's going to be some new secrets and whatnot. Whisper of the Worm, sorry, or the Whisper specifically was mentioned that there's probably going to be some new guides out on it, because how to complete it is just completely different. So I'm really excited to see how they kind of handle the old versus the new. So of course, if you're a YouTuber and you're planning on making a Whisper guide, you may want to hold off until we actually get it in our hands. But of course, enough about that. Let's talk about the random rolls for Whisper and Outbreak Perfected. And I'll go ahead and start with Whisper, because Whisper, I don't want to say I'm disappointed in the perks, but the perks seem a little bit lackluster on paper, but I think they're all pretty good options for the weapon. Of course, Mulligan is still going to be one of those new perk options that we can put on Whisper of the Worm. Pretty standard perk. I mean, just makes sense to have. We're also going to be able to put field prep on it so that we can have more ammo and faster reload while we're crouched. We will have sorry, like I said, not feeling very well today. But we will also have Enlightened Action, and there was one more, and I can't remember what the last one was off the top of my head. No Distractions. So No Distractions, Enlightened Action, Mulligan, and Field Prep. And again, I know that we were hoping on getting like Precision Instrument or something like that, because that would have been really awesome. But I think that would probably crack out the damage a little bit too much, especially because it is getting a buff. It's getting an ammo reserve buff, but is it possibly getting another damage buff? Maybe, I don't know. They didn't really talk about that, but I'm kind of in the hopes that it does. But with that being said, I think that the go-to obviously for this weapon is probably going to be Field Prep. Having more ammo is just great all around. I think that the other one for newer players would be No Distractions, so that you can hit your target easier. I don't think Enlightened Action is going to be all that great, because if I'm not mistaken, Enlightened Action, like, it stacks up to 12 times, so you're not getting that boost to reload until you've hit, or that full boost to reload until you've hit 12 shots, which at that point, that's like half your ammo reserves anyways. But overall, I'm happy to see it coming back. Mainly, I'm happy about the mission itself coming back, because the mission is fantastic. They're also bringing back some new exotic ships for these missions. So 1,000 Wings will not be coming back as it was before. So if you have 1,000 Wings, that's awesome. That'll be kind of your hallmark that, hey, I was there to do it. Which is pretty exciting. But moving on from there, 0 Hour, of course, is coming back, and they were pretty tight-lipped about some of the stuff on 0 Hour, including the final boss fights. I'm very interested to see what they have in store for that, because they were low-key hyping it up. And I know the final boss fight was a really intense boss fight in 0 Hour. You had the 2 tanks, you had just endless waves of ads spawning, and then that big old captain. Who knows what we'll see with this newer version. But enough about the mission itself. It looks to be all relatively the same. They just added some more difficult aspects to it and whatnot. And there is, of course, some secrets that are going to be coming up, but they didn't talk about those. But let's talk about Outbreak and its perks, which I think that they nailed it on the head. Like, they really did nail it on the head with the perks. Of course, Outlaw is still in the weapon. Outlaw is the standard perk that comes on it. That is still on Outbreak Perfected, but now it can also roll with rapid hits, which is I mean, that was one of the perks we said was on our wish list. It can get rewind rounds, which I think is also a really strong perk for the weapon. And of course, it can get Head Seeker for PvP, which again, I think Head Seeker is a great choice for the weapon inside of PvP. I don't really have any complaints with these perks. The main thing I wanted was rapid hits. It was great that we got rapid hit. Outlaw is still there, which is fantastic. I'm glad that, you know, rapid hit didn't replace Outlaw or anything. But as well, rewind rounds, you know, you could put on, I can't remember, but I think you can put on like an extended mag and then rewind rounds and just go to town on bosses, you know, that increase to damage and stuff. Like I think you're gonna see some montages of people destroying raid bosses again with Outbreak Perfected, so that's pretty exciting. But moving on from those two, we also saw the 3 new maps that are coming. One of them takes place on Europa in the Braytech Labs. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's something Labs is the name of it. The next one is Cirrus Plaza, which is on Neptune in, you know, or in the, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the city, but the Lightfall city, whatever it's called. And then the final one is actually on a pyramid ship. It's called Dissonance, I believe is the name of it, which is pretty cool. I didn't take notes, by the way, guys. Like, this is all coming from my memory. That's why I'm a little bit skewed when I'm talking about it. But all 3 maps look very, very good. They were all 3 built as small maps. You know, at any point in the game, you're within 75 meters of the opposite of the flag that's furthest from you, which I think is a good thing. You know, we've talked about having these huge, massive maps. Like, yeah, it's fun every now and then, but it's also not, like, you know, they're not as entertaining as the smaller maps. And so the fact they're bringing in 3 of these smaller maps is really, really nice. And these 3 maps, they look like they're all going to play very well. I think that's the one that actually takes place in Neomuna. That's the name of the city, by the way. The one that takes place in Neomuna is probably going to be my favorite. It just looks very symmetric in nature, and I like maps that have that symmetry. It looks like it's all really pretty close range. There's a couple areas where, you know, your mid-range is gonna be able to handle itself, but it looks all pretty close to mid-range, which I really, really like. Of course, the one on Europa, there's a couple sight lines that are longer, but again, it's got that really tight feel. You know, I think that auto rifles, pulse rifles are going to really have a good time on that map. You know, and then of course the last one, Dissonance. This is on the pyramid ship. This one, it looks like it has a fair mixture of lanes. You know, so if you want to run an SMG or a sidearm, I think you're going to be able to do so with success. If you want to run longer range weapons like a pulse rifle, maybe even a scout rifle. I'm not entirely sure about scout rifles. I think like on each of these maps, there's at least one lane where a scout rifle would theoretically do well. But I think that's for the most part on these maps, scout rifles are not going to fare super great. Like, I think pulse rifles, and especially with the current sandbox, auto rifles are gonna perform very well. But outside of those 2 things, we also got you know, some information on Pantheon, which is a raid boss challenge kind of thing. They didn't really go into much detail about it, but they did say that if you're chasing like ships, if you're chasing adept weapons and stuff like that, you'll be able to gather, you know, clanmates, friends, or, you know, a fire team together to go through a escalating difficulty kind of thing with this. I don't really know. We're gonna have to see what it is, how it works and stuff like that, because again, they were tight-lipped on that, but it's still you know, pretty cool that we're getting that. But yeah, and then outside of that, there wasn't really much else. I guess everybody's getting another free name change, which is, thank the Lord, because I mistakenly changed my name a long time ago to advertise my Twitch that I don't even stream on very much anymore since I had my kid. So I'll probably just change my name back to the Wormkeeper in Destiny 2. But everybody's going to get a free name change, and if you haven't used your free name change already, you will have 2 free name changes, which is pretty nice. But that's kind of the sum of, you know, the live stream today. I think the big things, of course, are those 2 exotic missions that are returning. 0 Hour and the Whisper. Both of those are fantastic. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on it. If you watched it, let me know what you think. Of course, tell me what you like, don't like, all that stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not feeling very good. But if you liked today's video, drop a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And guys, do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like them. I'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.